everybody. It's so good to see many of you being on. Oh, wow, including my cousin, Anne. Wow, I'm so happy to see her. Um, okay, YN. And also, uh, hey, Angie, good to have you with us, and Carmen. Anyway, so tonight we have the privilege of having six of our new unfranchised owners and experienced unfranchised owners who will be sharing about some of their highlights or aha moments of what they've sort of been uh, watching through the Asia Pacific Leadership School. So we won't be going through the standard, agenda item, but just each of these speakers will be talking about 10 minutes. So we've divided the topics into three different areas. We've got two speakers going to be talking about the power profiles, which will be really the testimonials of success stories. And then so these two people are our newer partners, Cami as well as Kenny. Cami and Kenny. And then we have two leaders that are going to be sharing about the product related sharing, and that would be Judy as well as Noreen, right? Noreen is going to be sharing a product. And then two of our leaders here will be sharing about business building area of the Asia Pacific, and they are Ken and Lily. So without further ado, I will just pass the time. Kenny will do the business building. Awesome. We will pass the time to the very first person from Lily's team first, Noreen, who will be doing a topic on product. Noreen, on to you, please.
Thank you.
Do you have screen sharing or are you just talking? Okay.
I'm screen sharing.
Excellent.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. So let me know if you can hear me properly. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the health products, but also to recap on Dr. Deirdre Mason's presentation, which was absolutely phenomenal. Look, I missed it on the day. I just had replayed it, but it was so good. So please try and get back and listen to that. I'm just going to talk briefly about some of the products and some of the information. But again, she spent a lot of time talking about health in an in-depth way and how important dealing with eating well, exercising, good sleep, and dealing with our stress levels. And that was the big aha moment for me, to be honest. Whatever about the products, but our products definitely lend itself to all of that, but we need to get the fundamentals of dealing with our stress and so forth. But again, this year, immunity would have to be the biggest health issue given what's going on in the world, and there's a lot we can do to impact our immunity. So obviously eating well, having a very good diet in, good organic vegetables, fruit, and then a good supplementation. So eating well, again, our sleep, our immune system absolutely improves when we have good quality sleep. And the problem is in modern day living, most of us get little enough sleep because we spend half the night on our computer or our phone. But we really need to make some, lifestyle adjustments with regard to sleep. And that will also obviously help regulate our stress levels. Also, to realize that sleep is really important in our metabolism, our repair and recovery, and the level of cortisol that flows in our systems. I'm a health professional, as you guys know, but I can see, and even as people age, the impact cortisol has on our function, on our body function, is significant. Again, she talked about, the various chemicals or minerals and so forth that are important within our nutrition, and all of these are contained in our products. Now, you look down at this list, you see pecnogenol. So for those of you who are new, OPC3 is one of our flagship products. It is beyond belief a fantastic product. and has multiple health benefits like, again, boosting immunity, anti-inflammatory, and so forth. I'll move quickly because I only have 10 minutes. Um, she talked about probiotics. Again, with our immune system, 70% of your immune system, the cells of your immune system are actually in your gut. So it's vitally important to pay attention to your gut health. If your gut is healthy, your system is healthy. Gut health is also, connected to our cardiovascular health, as well as our immune health, as well as our endocrine health. So she talked about one of our probiotics, which is probiotic 10, and that has two patented products. One is Live Back, which contains 10 strains of probiotics, and they are, excellent for our immune function. It also contains BioTrack, which enables to move those good bacteria to the lower intestine so that they work to the best advantage. She talked about aloe, Ultimate Aloe, which again is one of our superb products, beautifully harvested, manufactured in the most pristine, highest standards, highest quality. Uh, and so it contains what they call beta glucans, which are again boost our immunity. And this is quite a humble product, but it has profound positive effects on our health. Um, Let me see, just check some of my notes. Um, uh, 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 Again, in terms of when our immune system is down, okay, we are much more predisposed to picking up infections, getting chest infections, succumbing to the flu and things like that. So with inflammation, right? Okay, so inflammation, you might think of, oh, it's pain, it's redness, but we need to be very much aware too of subclinical inflammation. By the time the pain comes, the inflammatory process is way down the track. So again, proactive care of our health is very, very good. Talk about this. She also talked about how some customers talk about, oh, there's sugar in that product. There's sugar in there's a little bit of sugar in a lot of our products. But again, with the sugar in the aloe vera, it's a long-chained polysaccharide, which has, again, terrific metabolic function. So, it's not something that's going to spike your blood sugar or anything like that. It just because we need sugar for our ordinary metabolism. So there's your answer in terms of when people complain about if there's sugar in your products. Vitamin C, the humble vitamin C, one of the little points that stuck with me was regard to smokers, and I remember learning that at a conference at one point. But if you know customers or clients that are smokers, again, the OPC3, the vitamin C, very important for free radical scavenging with regard. And smoking is obviously a very toxic practice to our body, but vitamin C will help rid the toxins from the body. So that's very, very good. And vitamin C is such a good thing. The thing is, a lot of our, in our diet, people even think that they have a healthy diet, may not be consuming what they actually need. She also talked about curcumin. So our curcumin is, again, very high quality. It's an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it boosts our glutathione, which again, vital for inflammatory responses. The cap and cap thiaminol, so this contains a double technology of a cap and cap technology. And you've got your pecnogen, which is our anti-inflammatory, and then the black cumin seed, which again potentiates the anti-inflammatory effect. She spoke about vitamin D. Vitamin D, very important for our immune function. And in fact, research is showing us that if our vitamin D levels are down, not only are we more predisposed to osteoporosis, osteopenia, but we're also more predisposed to immunocompromise situation. So vitamin D, it's a pre-hormonal chemical, or it's not a chemical, it's a pre-hormone, and it's has multiple benefits. Again, it can also help with stress. You know, people, for example, that have low vitamin D, with studies have shown in Scandinavia that they're more predisposed to depression and so forth. So it's vital for people who are working indoors or not out in the sun. It's good for cardiovascular health. Actually, it helps us with again with metabolism, so good for blood sugar metabolism and weight control. Um, and obviously, people that have more pigmented skin have a lower absorption of vitamin D, so it's important that they supplement. She talked about our immune, which has a patented product called Well Immune, a natural yeast beta glucan. Again, has a long polysaccharide uh, composition. So it is excellent in terms of boosting white cell function, which again, we need good white cell function for, um, well, I won't say disease control, but for infection control, for your body mopping up bacteria or viruses when they invade the body. Um, so yeah, that's really it for me, I think. Sorry if I'm a bit disjointed. I have had a big day. But if you haven't listened already to Dr. D, definitely listen to it. She's fantastic, and it really, for me, although I know the products well and I trust and believe them, but her presentation gives you that in-depth, real deep dive into the pathophysiology and the chemistry behind our supplements, which totally, you know, you make you realize that we really have an amazing suite of products. So thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you very much. That was amazing. Yeah, I really agree that Dr. D is the best trainer, and I just love the way that she presents with passion, with great knowledge, and really something we can all learn from. Like any of her training, I would highly recommend it. And for those of you who may or may not know, this month she's got the 28 days of health, and every single day, even I might not be watching it live, I always want to catch up because it's just a wealth of knowledge that, you know, at the comfort of your own home, just on Facebook Live, you can just watch it. Seriously, nothing better than that. All right, so next we've got Kenny, who is going to be sharing with us about a topic on business building. Kenny.
Yeah, hello, hi. Can I share screen?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Sure.
So this is her first time presenting, so I'm really proud of you, Kenny. Go for it, yes.
Okay, I'll be sharing from Johnny Huang from Taipei, from Taiwan. Okay, he's talking about the do, don'ts, and no of the business. Okay, so okay, let's go to the first slide. Okay, mindfulness. I've been searching for English word, a phrase to make sense in these situations, which it lead to mindset. So when you have the right mindset, your attitude decide your altitude. So when we are in this business, we need to look further. We need to climb higher. So we need to look at the bigger picture. Don't look at short term. Okay, we all came in as a UFO. The thing that I think everyone want is residual income. So am I. So when you are moving forward, don't just charge ahead. Okay, be careful of the pitfall. Okay, try to take this very seriously. Okay, and it will save us a lot of time. Okay, and a lot of trouble during down this road. Okay, because he did mention in his presentation, he emphasized a lot of basic 5, follow the basic 5. Okay, don't do the no things. Okay, and okay, so when we are in this business, we need to have a mindset of a general. Okay, how to be like be a general and be a leader. So he said of you need to think of like JR. You need to take their positions. You need to do you need to don't just do what other people tell you what to do. Okay, you have to sometimes you have to think out of the box. Okay, you have to change place to think about it. Okay, don't just think of fast money, right? You need to think long term, not short term. This one he mentioned a lot in this business building, not short term but long term. Okay, the next, do the right things or do things right. Which one do you think is more important? So he did tell a story about do the right things or do the things right. I will tell a little bit of my story. Back in 2013, I applied a work and travel to US as a lifeguard in a water park, water theme park. So when I was guarding 4 slides at the same time, four water slides. So I didn't do the right thing because when the kids, he slide down and then he's like going back to the current, follow the current back to the slide. So I didn't blow the whistle. I didn't blow the whistle as emergency because I think he can manage to come back to the shore. Okay. Then because there's another lifeguard at the other side, so I thought the other lifeguard will do the things. Okay. So in the end, when another person came down from the slide, he actually bumped into the kids. So it's really not a nice thing. So I didn't do the right thing. So in the end, I need to do the things right, which I need to explain to the parents why at that time I didn't blow the whistle as emergency because I assumed that the kids will swim back to the shallow side. So through our life, we have been making choices all the time. Okay, so it's hard to make choices sometimes. So and as I grow up, my parents always tell me do the things right when I already do the things wrong. So now I learn you need to do the right thing first, then only you get the thing right. Okay, and when there's a Chinese proverb said that 失之毫厘差之千里, which Johnny Huang mentioned, is a miss is as good as a mouse. So one fault, you might lose everything. Okay. So sorry, back to this. So when you do the right things, it might seem very slow, very complicated, but it's the most stable. Okay, it's a long term, and he mentioned that he's doing this business for 13 years for his individual or his team. He do it slow. Okay, so he have to make sure he got the right person, the right partner, and the right leader. Okay, and we have to follow the system because this is the right thing. Okay, so the no-nos, I think we all know these all 6 no-no which we learned during our annual OT. Okay, so the sales of Market America products. So we are not, this is not a personal brand. Okay, so we have to respect the brands and respect the company. So if you don't respect, then who is going to respect us? So we don't sell our product in any retail shop store or deliver shops, which I found a lot in, if you're in Malaysia, you know there's a lot in Lazada or Shopee, okay, which is very disappointed. Okay, and don't run the unfranchised business system and illegal product sales in the country that are prohibited and or unexplored. Okay, then make profit by creating fake accounts. I do find a lot of fake accounts in Facebook, but I know Mr. Kevin Buckman and the team are doing very well by catching all these fake accounts. So thank you to them. So don't, if, how to say, our company will have no tolerance on all this, and because our company is very legal and we obey the law. Okay, so that's why our company have won the Better Business Bureau for A+ for 2 times, which is trust, performance, and integrity. Okay, if you want to have a long-term residual income, so don't do this. Okay, you want your kids to have a good education while you're doing this under table, which is not good. Okay, so thinking about yourself is really not sustainable. Okay, don't be selfish. You have to think of your team and your leader. Okay, we don't go underselling and no immediate traders. We only go serve our end user. Okay, so that's why we emphasize a lot on one-to-one marketing. Okay, and do not go to the UFO back office to help with their business. Okay, this one. And 6, no solicitation. Okay, this one I do have a short story from Joanne C, which I from her Hong Kong convention last year, which I learned, and it's a very funny story. She have everyone knows that her team is very big, so every year she got 4 cruises going out from Miami to do business training on a cruise. Okay, so there's this girl and man, and this girl and boy, they fell in love. So then back to their country after the training, then they decided they dating without let their leader know. So after that, they decided to get married. So when they get married, then the girl have to go to the boy side, which make the girl's leader side very angry. So don't do that. Okay. So Joanne C mentioned that when they have learned a lesson, so when the first day of their training for the next cruise, so they said, okay, so they said this is a business training trip. Don't fool around to spread your love or anything. Girls don't wear short skirts. Don't wear short skirts. Okay. And men that married don't go and disturb girls or anything. So you learn, then you have to do the right thing. Okay. So lesson learned. Okay. Enlightenment on education. Johnny Wang, he very concerned about education and he pay a lot of attention on education. So as education is the most important asset for us in whichever file, either are we in this business or not, we are always learning. Okay. So systematic mindset. Okay. Just do whatever that can be duplicated. Though if the thing that cannot duplicate, don't do. Okay, because you'll be wasting of your time. Okay, because if you don't follow the system, you're not protecting your business partner dreams. Don't be selfish because you won't go far. Okay, if you want to go fast, you go alone. Okay, but if you want to go far, you go together. Okay, so okay, the last one is as distance tests a horse strength, time reveals a person's heart. In Chinese is 路遥知马力，日久见人心, which means when you go far, only you will understand someone. Okay, so in these 13 years, he learned all this in these 13 years, which the first thing, he cultivate the market all together. Okay, don't do the 6 no and follow the basic 5. So when you follow the right way and you follow the right system and you do the right thing, you will be at the top very soon. So one team, one dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. That was amazing. Wow, this is your first time sharing, but you've done such a good job. Not only did you share about the content of Johnny's original presentation, you also added in a bit of your own story. Well done, girl. Proud of you. All right, so next we have our wonderful Lily, who is going to be sharing some power profile.
Thank you very much. And I will be sharing screen also. So there were many good power profile speakers on the 3 days, and I just took out points that I pick up, my takeaways from each of them. All right. So one of the first few speakers who really spoke to me, and her name is Tay JY from, I think, Singapore, Malaysia. Can't remember. But I like the way that she put it, that as an entrepreneur, we are very much like a gardener. So she pointed out that as a gardener, her neighbor. She sees that her neighbor shows up every day, regardless of the weather, and she tends to her garden. So her neighbor's garden looks very, very beautiful because she waters it, she weeds it daily. So it is the same thing for our business. If you want to have a growing business, you need to show up, whether you feel like it or not, and then you will succeed because consistent effort is required. If you want a beautiful garden, you got to put in the effort, just like if you want to have a thriving business, you got to turn up and do the work. So secondly, she pointed out, she asked the question, what do you want to grow? Because if you wanted to, her analogy was that if you wanted to grow grapes to go into a competition, you want to focus on growing grapes, finding out what you need to get as resources to help you grow that beautiful grapes. You don't want to look at corn, you know, out of nowhere, right? So in our business, you need to know your why and take stock of where you are. So doing our MMAC, which is monitor, manage. Oh, so can you help me? I can't.
Measure, monitor, adjust, control.
That's right. I always call it MMAC. I know what it means, but I can't give you the words so that you can work on areas that you are lacking. All right. And then she pointed out that you have to be constantly learning and improving your skill and knowledge because as a gardener, you know that plants will die, but it doesn't mean that you're a bad gardener. It just means that you need to learn from your past mistake, what you did wrong, what fertilizer they need perhaps. And she also that would be the same thing in our business, right? We have got business partners that come and grow and go. You just need to know where how you can improve basically. And the last thing that she pointed out, which I thought was awesome, is that she says that if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room because you have to be continuously learning and flourishing. And to do that, attending major events is a very important because at a major events you can then be learning from more experienced leaders. So you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. Go in, if you are already the smartest, please go and join in another room, especially the big meetings where you can learn more from other leaders. So I thought that was very good uh, analogy from JY. Okay. Then Jaslyn was amazing. Jaslyn Koi, as most of you would know her. And what struck with me was she pointed out this thing that Kevin Bachman always says, which is spend 80% of your time with 20% of the people who generate 80% of the result. And she admitted that in the start, her main mistake was that she always wanted to help everybody. And I think that this goes the same for all of us. Whenever we bring someone in, we want to help so much, right? So in the end, what we tend to be doing is that we may be spending 100% of our time with 100% of the people who generate 0% of the result. Hence, that was she quickly realized that, and she wanted to have a system that she could actually follow and then duplicate down to her team. And she's highly, highly recommended everyone goes on the 90 days fast track to learn and start doing it by yourself first, if need be, and then working with other people that you slowly bring in. Because the 90 days fast track is the system that you can duplicate to achieve your goal. Another thing that she pointed out, which I think is a good thing, and I've heard other leaders say it before, but I think this is something that I'm going to implement, is don't just read your goals. You have to write them out daily. And for Jaslyn, it worked. She wrote out her goals back last year, and she hit the pin level that she wanted in the time frame that she wanted, which was within a year. Then we have got our amazing other leaders like Sabrina Chai. We have heard Sabrina Chai speak very often, and she always pointed out to us that, for her, once she attended the major event in Greensboro, for the first time, she came home back to Perth with a vision. So she started building from home to home because there was no GMTSS to speak of. But the wonderful thing is that in our business, the MPCP is designed for ordinary people, and that is a duplicatable system that you can implement. Okay, And another thing that she pointed out is we must be proud that in our business, we actually have got monthly requirement, because the monthly requirement actually secures our residual income. So if you hear of people who are in another another business that has no requirement, you have to think twice about joining them, because there could be no stability there. And then Jeannie Ang from Singapore, her story is so interesting because she came in with a very strong why. She wanted to help her husband and the children have a better life. And she found the time to learn in the business in between doing chores and her children. And then she built her business when her children and her husband had gone to bed. So if your why is very strong, you can push through all sorts of obstacles. Doreen Ling came from a business background. She had three franchises when she came into the business. But upon seeing the business, we must understand how wonderful Market Australia, Market Malaysia, shop.com business is, because the investment is so low and it's got huge potential. And Doreen talks about how in her business, even her rental alone was like $1 million for the three franchises that she had in the shopping centers, right? And then there was not only that, there was overheads and headaches that she had running the three franchises. So it was just a matter of making a wise decision. Do you want to continue having the traditional businesses, or put some time away to have to work the MA business and have time freedom and residual income? And she made the right choice. So when you come into the business, obstacles will always be there. But if you're committed to your why, you will be able to prioritize things and push through things. She, like a lot of the other leaders, spoke that everyone needs to be on the 90 days fast track and use that as the blueprint, together with meeting the Master UFO Challenge and the Shopping Annuity Master member. Use that as your standard operation procedure. And tickets are very important, because if you don't buy tickets and sell tickets to your business partners, then there's no business for you. Okay, so one ticket can change everything. And then my last slide, Ruby Chan. Ruby Chan was very interesting and very methodical in her talking, and she talked about change. CHANG. The C stands for choice. So she explained, why do you want to choose failure when success is an option that you can put in the same effort? And H stands for hard work, because in our business, you do need to put in work. It is not a get rich quick scheme. The harder you work, the luckier you'll get, actually. A stands for authentic. So when you do and say everything that you actually believe in, then you will be able to attract people, because you have got integrity and you are authentic. Nurture. Make sure that you nurture your body with exercise and good supplementation, because after all, we are in the health business, so you've got to be a product of the product. And nurture your mind with constant learning. Make sure you attend all the GMTSS events and major events that are coming up, and nurture your spirit. And that means you must be willing to change and grow. If something is not going down the track that you want, you got to change. Keep doing the same thing, you can expect the same result. G stands for gratitude. So be grateful for what you have. So she's very grateful to JR and his vision. And we must be too, because he has given us this vehicle which we can use to help us achieve to the level that we want. E stands for extraordinary. So you can choose to be ordinary or extraordinary by just changing your self-talk, because we get a lot of negatives in our self-talk. So we have to put in the positives, because when you conquer an obstacles, you are actually improving yourself. So her saying was, it's not the mountain that you conquer, but yourself when you overcome it. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you,
So
Kitty.
much, Lily. I love the way that you always share from your heart, Lily, and I have to salute you. Thank you so much. So next, we have my dear friend Judy Lamb, who is going to be sharing another of our product showcase, which is the Isotonics Complete Green. So Judy.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Okay, can you see my slides?
Mm.
Let me see. Slideshow concurrent. Yeah, I'm going to share about the complete green products by Dr. Neil. Okay, and the presentation slides that he prepared, which we can download, is very, very useful. It's so comprehensive because he put all the information in there. So that's very good. Like good for me to prepare this 10 minutes presentation because I didn't have the time before. So I was preparing tonight, but it will be so, when I was trying to prepare, I feel that, all the informations are in the slides. So perhaps this is what you can share with your customers or your teammates in the future. So it's about whether we have enough of the greens. So there are some statistics that will be very handy for no matter which country we are from. So average Singaporean intake of vegetables is only 1.78, so not even 2 servings per day. So 67% of them like they don't meet the 2 servings requirement. Like for Malaysia, okay, 85% of people, they don't consume sufficient amount of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so I wonder what they eat. Normally they eat so many good food, but not enough vegetables and fruits. For Australians, even worse. Now, on the slide that we download, I think when he was presenting, he changed it a bit. So it's actually 92.5% of Australians do not meet the dietary guideline for vegetable intake. So this one could be the very original one. Okay, not 92.5% of people meeting the requirement is like don't meet it. So yeah, so over 90%. And in Hong Kong, even worse. 94.4%. What do you think about the reason why people don't meet the requirement? I think it could be because of the busy lifestyle. Yeah, like especially in like for Aussies, I think we are just lazy to take vegetables. But for Hong Kong, maybe they are just too busy. They can't take care of it, and when they eat out, they need the instant energy, so they will choose meat. So yeah. So what are we missing because of this? We got so much nutrients that we need from the vegetable. If for people who attend the TLS, you will understand why it is so important. It has vitamins such as vitamin A, C, folate, and minerals such as potassium. He mentioned about magnesium as well, iron and calcium that we need, that we can get from vegetables, but instead we choose something else. Like from Kitty, like she would say that vegetables is very low GI index, and it can actually keep us not hungry, keep us full for a long time. However, because of the food choice or like fast food or the busy lifestyle, we don't eat enough. So if we understand like what vegetables do to us, we may be able to shift our choice. Yeah, not only that the vitamins we need, but also the dietary fiber helps us to control the cholesterol, the blood sugar, improves our digestion. And it keeps us full for longer, and also it leads to lower calorie intake because it keep us full. So what are we missing? The greens offer the powerful blend of plant source nutrients and antioxidants. Okay, so they are very important. Superfoods like spirulina and chlorella, some of the richest nutrient sources on the plant program, are offering building blocks for the healthy metabolism. We may think that, oh, how can I eat the spirulina or chlorella? Okay, we don't usually buy it from the supermarket. So the supplement that we got is very useful. Spinach, cabbage, broccoli supports overall health and well-being. So that's good. That's what we usually get from the supermarket, right? And yeah, so there are two products that has got the complete screen. The first one is the NutriClean Complete Screen, which is available from the Hong Kong market. Market Hong Kong, I mean, and we are very lucky, Australian, we got that from last year, the complete screen in isotonics form, okay, and also in, I believe that's in Singapore, yeah, and Hong Kong. So what does it do? The NutriClean Complete Screen, they got the apple fiber, soy, lecithin, barley malt, bee pollen, brown rice bran, and acerola berry juice, okay, on top of the green. So I remember I got a friend who purchased the TLS Jumpstart kit from Market Hong Kong, and this bottle is in there. So yeah, so that's good. But I'm going to focus more on the isotonics because that's what we have in Australia. And why is this so good? Because normally we need to eat lots of vegetables to have that sufficient amount of intake, or some people will put so much effort, they do their vegetable juice and all that blending, but you know, you need to have the time, you need to clean this up and yeah, do different things. So the complete greens in isotonics is very, very, very good and practical for us, because they already put it in isotonic formula, and we only, they are already in powder form. And in the later slides, you will see what ingredient it has got, and we can just drink it and add the proper amount of water to make it isotonics. Like for us who love about our isotonics product, you know how it works. So basically it is the same with the powder, with this proper amount of water. When we mix it, the fluid pressure is the same or as our fluid, as our body osmolarity. Okay, so the body fluid pressure is the same, which means that our body can absorb it immediately, okay, within 5 minutes. Unlike other thing, even if we can do vegetable juice, we may not be able to absorb that quickly. Okay, the beauty is about our isotonic formula. Okay, so highly sufficient absorption, a little dilution, higher concentration, without fillers, binders, and coatings. And if we have it with empty stomach, it's even better. Okay, otherwise you can have it as a drink. Okay, because we can just take it casually. Regarding the super greens in our complete greens, not only for people who don't take enough vegetables, but if you want to have more, this is highly recommended, because it has got the super greens that we don't normally cook in our dishes. Okay, for example, the spirulina, the wheatgrass. Do you remember 5-6 years ago when we go to Boost Juice, you will see them like planting the grass as the decoration. They actually put the grass in the juice to blend it. Yeah, barley grass, alfalfa grass, chlorella, broccoli, spinach, and cabbage. So they are really good. So we got those 8 ingredients in our complete screen canister. So that's fantastic. Here are some slides talking about the function of the of each of the super green. So the spirulina is a type of the blue-green algae, high in nutrients, proteins, minerals, vitamins, also a source of phytonutrients. It is the plants produce chemicals with health promoting qualities. Wheatgrass, okay, very good for vitamins and minerals again, very rich in chlorophyll. So when you have the complete green, you see it's very, very, very green because of the chlorophyll. And it can promote the production of our red blood cells, and it is good for detox. So the wheatgrass is very good for us. Also, when we need to detox as well, you can have it, and it will keep our pH balance in our body. So it is good for people who need to consume food frequently. Barley grass is a leaf of the barley plant, which has a tremendous ability to absorb trace nutrients from the soil. Okay, so by eating grass, these good grass, it will really help us for our energy level. Alfalfa grass is a perennial herb that grows throughout the world. Leaves, plants contain beneficial nutrients. Okay, so the main thing is to support our immune system and energy level. Okay, and chlorella, green algae from the fresh water. And the good thing for our health is for our immune health. Broccoli powder, it has high antioxidant. I remember he talked about it. Okay, so that's really good. And yeah, so I think I will buy more broccoli to cook as well. Yeah. But the beauty about the complete grass is that like among us, I believe many of us love cooking. You know that when we use heat to cook our vegetables, some nutrients will be destroyed because of the heat. Okay. So having this complete green supplementation is very good because you don't need to worry about like the nutrients being missing or being destroyed because of the cooking. Okay, and of course you wouldn't be wanting to eat all the raw vegetables all the time. Okay, so the spinach powder is very good to support our general overall health. Cabbage powder, vitamins and mineral. So again, I think the beauty of this complete green is having the normal good vegetables that we usually use, but also with some grass like the wheatgrass, spirulina, the alfalfa, and the barley grass that we can't normally buy from supermarket. Okay, and so the good thing about it is, yes, it's isotonics and it has got 8 of the superfood in it. It is gluten-free. Okay, so vegetarians, friends can have it. It has got no pork. Yeah, he mentioned about some people having some religious reason. Muslim, I think, like they can have it without worry. And the quality is there, okay, because we like it is a very good brand, very transparent, and they already check for heavy metal, so they have got no heavy metal. They don't have microbiological contaminants, so no bacteria in there, no allergens, high potency, purity, and identity. Identity is that whatever being shown is there, okay? They don't add anything extra, okay? So we can trust. So the overall value for people using the complete green is that it will help our body with the plant source nutrients and phytonutrients. It contains organic ingredients, okay, of the 8 super greens. It helps to support our energy levels. And I can prove it because actually before I purchased it myself, my friend, my customer purchased it. She used it because she doesn't eat vegetables. So she saw it and then she ordered it, and she's told me that, oh, it tastes like Japanese soft drinks, first of all. So it tastes good. And then she said that I feel very energetic. because she takes it in the morning. So at that time she was working from home. So so it's lovely that I heard it from a customer, not from our company. So yeah, it proves that it works really well, and it helps to support overall health. Okay, so some frequent question people ask, what are phytonutrients? Okay, if you have joined TLS, you might have heard it. Okay, from our trainer. Phytonutrients is certain organic components of plants that have nutritive properties. Okay, and who should take it? Well, anyone over 18 years of age who wants supplement on their diet. Okay, so if you don't have enough, you can take it. Like my friend who doesn't enjoy vegetables, or people like us, if you want more, you can take. Remember about the data. Okay, how many % of people who don't have enough serving? Do I still need to eat vegetables when taking isotonics? Of course, this is supplementation. It's not something to replace. Okay, so yes, so we are still very encouraged to take vegetables in our daily meal. How do I take the isotonics complete green? Now, it is also written on the container as well. What you do is 2 spoonfuls. Okay, the spoon is a bit different because they are not using the cap to measure. So they got a little spoon inside. So take 2 level spoonful and add 180 mils of water. So for those of us who usually using the plastic cup from the isotonics bottle, that means you will have 3, you will use the container 3 times. Okay, 3 of the 60 mil of water, and then you stir. Okay, optimal result, have it with empty stomach. So this is what I did when I prepared the quick presentation today. So what I did is, I got this idea from Kitty, I think, or Hon Ling, when we were in the TLS Jumpstart group before, a few months ago. So today I use 2 spoonful of complete green and mix with 2 caps of digestive enzyme, and I mixed it, and and then I just add some ice, because it was so hot. And while I was checking the slides, and then I realized, oh, there are so many ingredients in my mocktail. So so I took a picture on the right hand side, just in front.
Oh, that was it. I saw it on your Facebook, Judy.
So so that's my sharing.
Thank you. Wonderful. Wow. I was like, oh, what was that? That looks absolutely refreshing. I didn't even know that it was a combination of 2 of my favorites.
It tastes really good with digestive enzymes. So so everyone highly recommend, when you use it, you don't need to treat it as supplement. You treat it as drink. It's still very, very nice.
It is a cocktail. Yeah. Thank you, Judy. That was amazing. I love your presentation there. And again, of course, for those of you who actually got a ticket of your Asia Pacific, leadership school, you would have received all of these slides as well as the recording available for 14 days. So I highly recommend that you download them and then, use them in your future, and also learn more about what you might have missed. Next, we have Kemi, who is also the very first time in our new team member, sharing about some power profiles that she's been very touched by. Kemi, time for you to share. Lovely.
Hi, everyone. Look, I don't have so pro with all this PowerPoint with presentation. I just gonna share in a very personal level of what I gone through during this leadership and who are the speaker who really speak and touch me, okay? The first person I got actually is similar to Lily, is Jeannie Ang. So when I hear from her, I think she is really funny and encouraging and actually very inspiring as well. Actually, the first time I hear from her is from her UBP, and her story itself really, really touched me, because I like how she say the business is made for me. Although she don't have money to do a startup course, she think it's ridiculous because it's so cheap, but still she find a way and do it, right? And when she say like the business is made for her, it's really relate to me, because when the first time Ken showed me this business plan, I feel like, yes, I'm in. Like, how do I get into this? Like I really like the way how she say, like, even though all the obstacle that she facing, like what Lily had mentioned, but she still put the effort and do it. And this is really made me start to think, because this obstacle that she's facing is from the husband against her, all those things. And then doing the house chore and hiding in the toilet to make calls, this sounds so crazy, and saying that, it made me think like, wow, and I'm complaining like people rejecting me or something like that, giving me a lot of excuses that, oh, why I can't do this and all sorts of things, right? When she shared this story to me that time, it made me feel like, hey, Cami, there's no excuse, because she's facing so many obstacles from the loved one and she still can do it. So that really speak to me and made me realize, look, we really need to look into like the positive side and then like know our why, because her why is so strong that she don't care and she just do it, even though like within like at night and all those things. So I really think that is really, really amazing. And during the presentation, she showed the photo of her, like how she was a ama means a grandma, and then like from another picture it's become like so young. I feel this is my word, I feel like from a ama, a grandma, to become a cheche, a sister, that's just amazing lah. The picture itself speak very loud. Okay, and so for me, definitely, I think it's something that I want to throw out and think, if you think what you're doing is hard, can you imagine if you have your loved one objecting yourself? And for her, she's a fighter, she fight it through. So this is something really touched me a lot. And the next speaker I also speak loud to me is YK Time, where how I think beginning of the story where he said that he got 3 special kids. So wow, I think 1 special kids is hard enough, and imagine like he got 3 special kids, right? And this really feel like, I think as a parent, although I'm not, but I deal with a lot of kids, it speak directly to a parent's heart, because you have to worry about what's gonna happen to your parents. And where YK Tam share about how his profession and everything is very good, stable and everything, but he need to look for something able to duplicable, and also creating a residual income, because it's something need to secure for his next generation. And I think when he shared his story about how he cried in a bathroom and then he want to give up and then he want to go back to his comfort zone, again, I think every one of us can relate that we will have that moment where we feel like, okay, you know what, I think our 9-to-5 job is okay, we just want to give up, and but again, he will continue to press on because he saw the photo of the kids, and again he go back to his why, because the kid is such a strong of his why, right? And that is so good. And especially he also shared with the wife saying that how they have fear because of whatever they build. Let's say we can build all this, property to live for our kids and everything. But I think he said like, what if they've been scammed by someone? But then the wife said, it's okay. Next week, the income will come again. I think that point really hit to the nails that like, wow, that's so good. Like, yeah, it will come again. So this is something that I think, speaking to a lot of parents or someone who want to leave a legacy, this business is amazing. And for them who are people who are experienced, or we call it professional people, they do enough research to know that how great this business could be. Okay. And the third person that speak to me is Desmond Tan. Is also from Malaysia, but he was in Vietnam. So he built this business even though he's in Vietnam, but he's very dedicated. And with his profession, people, he's saying like he earned like, also very good 5-figure income monthly, but then his health start to deteriorate, and looking at him, he's quite young, he's not old as well. But sharing that, he said he lost his health, and then like, so he managed to found this business. And then the beauty also, like he found out that this business not just helping him, but also managed to help others. And I think this is also a key, because for him working in Vietnam, he see the condition of people living and everything. I think he want to help others. But in his traditional business as an employee or manager or whatever position you're in, how much can you help others? And this is where like, when he's managed to see this business at time, it can help others, that speaks so loud to him. And I think for me now, I'm in Australia, I also like, have in Malaysia business and everything. The distance always become like an excuse also for us. But with his sharing, it made me realize that there's no such thing, because we don't even have business in Vietnam, and he can build it through Vietnam and to Malaysia, you know, and be someone now on the leadership conference speaking to me. And I like where how he said that every trip that he fly back to Malaysia, he make it very intentional. He makes sure that there is a meeting and a conference going on, that he intentionally attend it. So I think this is where we also, I speak very loud to me, where I would like to share with people, like I feel that we need to put a good intention efforts in everything we do, because there's nothing gonna come past if we don't put intention efforts in our daily things, you know. So this is for me, throughout this whole leadership conference, I learned that, and everyone have their own story. You know, I love everyone's story and testimony, because to me this get very personal and speak very loud to me, you know. Everyone also have their own obstacles, their why, their problems and everything, but one common thing is that they all are fighter, and they all have their own why. They fight all the way, they don't give up easily, and they manage to achieve or reach somewhere that they want to be or where they are today. So in a simple words, to summary that, success is the word, is their why that they want to achieve, the goal of success. So for every one of us here, we definitely have to find out our own why, where we can't help you. You have to help yourself. But what we can do and help one another here is our common goal, is to success. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share. And I'm very thankful that we are part of the team that helping one another to achieve our success. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, Kerry, I love it. You share with such passion and heart, just like who you are, but it's just amazing. So with or without slides, it does not matter. You know, you inspire me. Every single one of those power profiles that you share, I love as well. So thank you, thank you. All right. Well, last but not least, we have our rising star, Mr. Ken Hong, who's going to be sharing about some really, really important, amazing business building techniques that we can all learn from. Ken,
Thanks, Kitty. Hope rising star, maybe like falling star, like a meteor. Is it?
rising star, yes.
Is it? Hang on, let me share my screen. All right, hopefully it works. You guys see your faces, is it? I might have to move
Yes.
it across. I have to move it away. All right, I was trying to decide actually. The which one do we do first? I'm gonna end with one of my favorite speakers, Lian. So I'm gonna start with Simon Deal, and like this is goal, right? Everyone speaks to me like I'm not that, long in the business. But this is just one of my favorite topics: evaluation approach, decision close, trial run. And I especially like Simon. He's got very engineering mind. Just the way he organizes his slides, it's so process focused. So I've only got 7 slides here, 7 slides from Lian. I just wanted to narrow it down to something sometimes we miss as well, I think. And the way I explain is just absolutely brilliant. You can see he's really experienced in this. The reason we use evaluation approach and trial run, to reiterate what I said, there's so much genius in this. All right. Why? Number one, we want to avoid suspicion. Like, we want to be upfront. All right. You're not hiding. You're not saying like, oh, it's this like cool opportunity, and then when they ask you what is it, you're like, yeah, I can't give you any details, right? I mean, you give them enough, right? But you want to avoid suspicion, because why are you asking them at all? You are asking for a favor and help, right? It stops them from being paranoid, and you open and straightforward. Because how you approach someone, and this has been even more important for me, even as I listen to Kevin Bachman, on 90 Day. Like, how you start any process with anyone is how it will duplicate. Like, from day one, this is JR's principles of imprinting. Is literally when you hatch from the egg, the first contact you have, that's how it gets imprinted. So if you don't start with a trial run evaluation approach, right, you set yourself up for failure. There's 3 parts of it, the 3 elements of the evaluation approach and trial run. The first one, people skip over this. I think this is one of the most important, right? Lead with it, right? I know you may have no interest, and I used to say you may or may not be interested, but then I know I did a training with Ryan Stack, and he's like, no, I take it away, right? Like, I don't even give them the option of going in. He's like, I know you're not interested. right? You may not need it. You should be busy, right? So it's like, okay, we give you excuses upfront, and then you put yourself at their feet. It's like, can you please help me? Can you have a look? You may know the right people. You're more familiar with e-commerce. Um, and then the final part, right? You just gotta. This is the ask. Like, can you help me out with an evaluation, analysis, understanding? Honestly, like, sure, people may not show up on the first look for whatever reason. They might go and check it out, and then they freak out or something like that. But honestly, 90% of people will say yes, right? So use this to your advantage, right? Get used to asking for help, right? Don't be so proud, right? Just be humble a bit. Just ask for help. Um, I like this slide because it's really, really simple. Sometimes we make this business too complicated, I think. It's really, really simple. All right. Evaluation approach, show the plan. And the gold nugget I got yesterday from Kevin Buckman is show the plan with the video, right? Because that is so duplicatable. That's brilliant. I mean, we're talking about one-on-one, two-on-ones, right? Like shorter showings. And then after that, we split into two. There's only two categories, really. Either they're interested or they're not interested. If they're not interested, ask for referral, right? Get a referral evaluation approach, start it again. If they're interested, give them more information, then take them on a trial run. It literally is that simple. So I really appreciate how Simon just simplifies it with one slide. Like, this here is one of the basic 5 in one slide. It is that simple. Um, the other thing is, uh, you can tell someone's mindset by the questions they ask, right? So sometimes I know certainly some business partners, they'll ask me, it's like, oh my goodness, what if this person I'm asking is like not interested? I'm saying, why do we care? Like, we're asking them to evaluate, because you sometimes when we set ourselves in the wrong mindset, we are at conflict internally, right? We're using our words, we're saying, hey, evaluation approach, but inside we're like, I hope he signs, I hope he signs up, I hope he signs up. You know what? People sniff this out. People smell that. People smell that inconsistency, right? So if you're going to use evaluation approach, go all in, change the mindset, right? Flip it around, because you're not interested in getting that person to sign up. You honestly aren't. You're interested in showing that to them. If they're interested, they'll tell you, right? If they're not interested, you get a referral, right? So it's that simple. I like this slide here because it's talking about how many years of insight. They even change, how we do one of the B4, right? Which is qualifying, prospecting, no, what is it before? I don't even know what it was before. There was a recruiting in there. Prospecting, qualifying, and recruiting, isn't it? Yeah, something like
Yeah, recruiting before, but now it's changed to qualifying. That's right.
qualifying. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. I don't even know which one, but it was like prospect, recruit, sponsor, and then the problem is you get even like Kevin Buckman, he, in a 90-day fast track. Sorry, I go back and forth. He shares, right? Like he sponsored 60 partners first year, and then pretty much all of them left him because you don't know who's qualified. And sometimes we're too greedy trying to get that 300 BV qualification BV, right? But the real goal, and this is a mindset shift, the real goal is in qualifying people for longevity. So one shift, change the recruiting to qualifying. The one thing that changes down the line is everyone becomes qualified. Then you have a better chance of making the most of your time, because your most precious resource is not your money, right? Literally think about it this way: your life is your time, and your time is your life. That is it, right? So if you're going to use your best resource, make sure you make the most of your time you have. And this is the other thing, the right attitude for trial run, right? Why do we do a trial run? Why do we do a trial run? Right? It's not just reverse psychology. It is so important because we want to know what the journey ahead for someone is going to be like. Like, if someone's not willing to like pick up a phone or text, and invite two people, look, maybe they're not right for the business, right? Because can you imagine having to push them every single day for the next 10 years if you're talking about like doing this for long term? My goodness, like, think about all your missed opportunities, right? So that's why we do a trial run. If your prospects succeed, great, good for them, right? They have decided for themselves. If they don't want to have it, great, you haven't wasted your time, right? So once again, I think when I first heard JR say this long time ago, and you know when Simon was saying it too, I'm hearing it differently. When JR said it the first time I heard it, I was like, oh man, JR, you're so harsh. But now that I hear Simon say it, it's like it's so true, right? He speaks from experience. The other thing is, you know, when we do B5, we just want to do it comprehensively, right? You want to do everything. Use every tool in your arsenal. Sometimes we have first look, second look only, but there's so much. There's HBPs, you can host at home now, there's trial run, the evaluation approach, your core workshops, all this, right? All right, so I'm gonna I'm gonna change and flip over to Lien now, right? And this is like I think it's the right way to end. So when someone who earns, 36,000 USD in a 4-week pay cycle speaks, like I think we should listen. And really, she speaks by the right attitude, but it really is attitude plus mindset. Think about this. I mean, this topic is just so big, right? You know, I come from a small town, right? Like there's many things against me. I didn't even leave my small town of Kajang for, I think like 11 years, I think, before I consciously decided to leave it out. Like real small mindset, a big fish in small pond kind of thing. And then when I came to Australia, I was like, "Whoa, my goodness, like the whole world opened up." So we always think there's so many things that are out of control. That's true. There's one thing you control, your attitude. That's literally one thing. As soon as you have a bad attitude, right? Think of it this way, you give your power away. You are willingly laying down your arms, right, for whatever you want to achieve. So when someone comes to me, they're like, "Oh, I've had, look, we have bad days, right?" But I'm saying some people, not in this chat, they're chronically bad days. Every single day is like bad, right? Um, they're giving power away, right? So think about this next slide as well. It's phenomenal, right? How many of us have heard, when a prospect comes to say, there's no like the right time, this is not the right time for me. I mean, I have no idea when the right time is. And the problem is this, every one of us who's done the business for a while, when you see a little bit of success, you realize the right time was always earlier than when you actually started. Right? Can you imagine that? I mean, like that's the kind of insight I can give you. 100%, right? You ask Lily, ask Kitty, if you could do it all over again, what would you do different? You'll be like, I'll probably start earlier, right? So start now, right? You can't go back. This is the other one. Always remember your why. I think Cami was just like brilliant in sharing this. When we give ourselves reasons to back down and not do this right, when we give ourselves excuses, right, we are allowing others to steal our dreams away. I love that, right? And when Leanne explained it, I mean, go back and listen to it. She's phenomenal the way she explains it. This here, super, super important, right? It's going to build up to this the next few slides. The one thing we got to get used to is rejection. But if you think of rejection differently, right, you can succeed in this business. There was one example Leanne shared. She talks about two people, right? I can't remember exactly. One, they were about to sign up. One of them was like literally about to sign up, right? About to register a business, goes back, speaks to someone, comes back and says to Leanne, "Hey Leanne, you know what? I'm not gonna do it." Like already about to register, right? And when Leanne said, "Look, I feel bad for them," I totally felt her genuine, like her emotions come true. Can you imagine if that person, I don't know when in Leanne's journey that person joined, but if that person could have joined when Leanne started, that person could have been a director, right? So you think about what people lose out when people reject you, right? Don't worry about it. They're not rejecting you. They are missing out on the opportunity. Sometimes I shift mindset. I know this is a bit weird even saying it, but when people say no to me, I'm like, feel bad for you, right? Sorry, man. You know, I don't say it, I think it. Why? Because you just want to make it easy for yourself. You want to be kind to yourself. Now, just a couple more slides, I'm done. How hard should I work, right? So you get this question a lot. How many hours should I devote to this business? I like to ask this question. I'm like, okay, let's say you've been doing this for two months, right? let's say you add up all your hours and you were working at a McDonald's and you add all those hours up, like how much would you expect to get paid? You know, residual income is like 10 times more valuable. $1 in residual income is like $10, right? In linear income. I know, like this week, I've got my gut busted by a few clients, right? It is so brutal. I don't even want to go into it, right? But the things we do for linear income, right? Residual income is like 10 times worth more. So when people ask me how many hours do I do, I'm like, what do you expect, right? You expect to get 100,000 residual income, but you expect to work 10 times less. So where, like, we've just got to be real with ourselves. What do we want to do to get where we want to go, right? JR says it the best, right? The only difference between a success and a failure, the only difference between us here in this room, right, and someone else who's not registered in the business is that, look, we all still do our jobs, right? 9 to 5, whatever, do your kind. We are literally just 15 minutes a day different from someone else. That's it. I tell my business partners, like, don't worry, man. Don't worry about like 8 hours first when you start. Just worry about 15 minutes a day. If you can build a 6-figure income, 15 minutes a day first, come on, like, why wouldn't you? And I think this quote here, I think is perfect. And I'm so glad she ended on this, right? Think about it this way. This was spoken at the turn of the century. Right, so William James, he's a philosopher. Some of his writings, I've read only short excerpts of it. It's absolutely brilliant. He said, the greatest discovery of my generation is that a human being can alter his life by changing his attitude. You know what? The difference between each of us here, like where we are today, if you plot your graph, right, of your life, 15 years from now, right, there's two yous. There's the you who's still really, really frustrated, gets up, maybe it's quite negative in your attitude, wish you were further. And then you just look, there's this mirror image, except one key difference, right? You've achieved all your dreams, right? You've got your dream house, your dream life, you've designed it well, you've got like, you can travel all around the world. Can you imagine the point at which that diverges is the point at which you are intentional, you make a decision, and you change your attitude. Like literally that's it, right? It's literally that's it. So I think the beautiful thing about all this, and that's my last slide, is like we choose, right? There's no one takes away my power in this. Like you've got your own power. So when people say to me like, look, I'm too busy, I'm like, your choice, right? It's perfect. Don't worry about it, right? But as long as you're kind to yourself and you don't expect to be further than you should be based on your choices you make. So anyway, over to you, Kitty. That's it.
And
Sorry, I just want to say as well, like I hope I'm speaking to myself here. So if it feels like I'm a bit like lectury or teachy, that's just the conversations I have with myself sometimes. So anyway.
it's good to have monologue to yourself. I do that a lot too, Ken. It's wonderful. So thank you, everyone, and all of our speakers tonight. Whether it's the proud profiles, whether it's our business development techniques and talks, as well as, of course, our products. These are really, important topics. But of course, out of the whole 3 days of our Asia Pacific Leadership School, there are so many plethora of other great speakers as well as content there, and I would highly recommend that before the 7th of December, which will be the close off date of all of this being available to you, download them, rewatch them, and do whatever you need to actually assimilate it into your life, not just know it here, because as Bruce Lee always says, which my dad always reminded me, knowing without doing is not knowing. We really need to know and learn what we've learned from this weekend and implement it. I'm talking to myself, Ken. But anyway, to all of you as well. So please, thank you very much for sharing. And if you guys are interested in having more sharing and learning about the Asia Pacific, I know Irene from Market Malaysia, she's got another calling coming up on Monday where quite a few of our leaders are going to be sharing as well. You're welcome to join us. Is that right, Irene? Are they all? Yep. Welcome to join us. So thank you. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope that tonight's snippet of really some of the best topics will allow you to build your business further. And I hope that we can see each other at the top. Until then, take care. Bye for now. Good
Thank
night.
you. Good night. Good night.
Good
Thanks,
night.
everyone. Good night. God bless.
Good night. Good night, Noreen. Good night.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night.